Okay, so let's do something a little different today. We're going to deconstruct a party anthem. We're taking Eladio Carrion's Touch Your Body and we are going to break it all the way down. Because hidden inside what sounds like a simple club hit is a surprisingly dense, kind of brilliant snapshot of our modern world. It all starts with a line just like this. And yeah, on the surface, it's pretty straightforward, right? It's about luxury, attraction, just having a good time. But this line, this is our entry point. This is where we start peeling back the layers, and trust me, the story gets much, much more complex. So I want to pose a question. What if this song is way more than just a vibe? What if it's actually a commentary on, well, everything? From late-stage capitalism and social media to, get this, physics and pharmacology. I know, it sounds a little out there, but let's dig in. First up, we gotta talk about money. The song lays out this really clear framework for seduction that honestly looks a whole lot like a marketplace, a place where economic power is the #1 tool of attraction. And the lyrics are super explicit about this. This isn't just about buying someone a drink at the bar. No. We're talking about throwing wads of cash, paying rent, and just casually name-dropping the biggest luxury brands. It's not subtext, it's a direct statement. It frames this entire interaction as an economic exchange. Now, what's really wild is that there's a term for this kind of behavior, and it was coined over a century ago by a sociologist named Thorstein Veblen. He called it conspicuous consumption. The whole point isn't just having wealth, it's about demonstrating your wealth. It's a performance of status. And the song is like a perfect textbook example. The brands he mentions, Ferrari, Louis Vuitton, Prada, those are what economists call Veblen goods. They're items that are desirable because they're so expensive. The whole vibe becomes this implicit negotiation. He provides the economic capital, money, luxury, in exchange for social and, well, erotic capital. And that line where he compares her style to a French bulldog, that's just genius. It's another crazy expensive status symbol, which shows how literally anything can become a marker of wealth. All right, let's peel back the next layer. The song dives headfirst into one of the biggest cultural debates of our time, the completely conflicting standards of beauty we all deal with in the age of social media. This contrast right here is just fascinating. In one breath, the lyrics are praising natural beauty, saying nope, no silicone, but in the very next line, he brings up Kylie Jenner, a cultural icon whose entire image is basically built on cosmetic modifications and a perfectly curated online life. So what is going on here? Well, this tension points to a much wider trend that scholars call the biomedicalization of beauty. It's a fancy term, but the idea is simple. It's this notion that our appearance isn't just something we're born with anymore. Nope. Now it's a project, something to be medically managed, tweaked, and optimized. So the crucial point really is this contradiction. The song lives right in that duality. In the reference to la máscara, the mask, it's perfect. It could mean makeup, sure, but it could also mean that digital mask, that carefully crafted personality we all put on for social media. And by using words like silicone and collagen, the song starts talking about beauty in these almost clinical, medical terms. And now for a serious twist. We are moving from sociology and cultural studies straight into the world of hard science. Because the song's high-energy, high-stakes vibe, it's not just a feeling, it's actually rooted in physics and psychology. The lyrics paint such a vivid picture. Driving a twin turbo Ferrari at 120 miles per hour, hand on her thigh. This isn't just a flex, you guys. This is a scene that is absolutely loaded with kinetic energy, risk, and a whole lot of adrenaline. And yeah, there's a formula for that. You might remember this from science class. Kinetic energy equals 1/2 mass times velocity squared. And that squared part, that's the whole ballgame. It means the danger doesn't just increase with speed, it increases exponentially. So when you double your speed, you're not dealing with twice the destructive energy. You're dealing with 4 times as much. Now, psychologically, this kind of behavior is a classic example of sensation seeking. It's that personality trait defined by the hunt for intense experiences and a willingness to take huge risks to get them. And research actually shows that the adrenaline rush you get from taking risks can literally intensify other feelings, including sexual attraction. So you see how it all connects. The physics of speed creates real danger. That danger triggers a psychological thrill. And then, right in the middle of this high-stakes moment, you get the demand. Deja el cel. Put the phone away. It's a plea to reject the digital filter, to be fully present in this raw, authentic, high adrenaline moment. Okay, for our final layer, we're basically putting on a lab coat. This song is unapologetically hedonistic, and it's surprisingly specific about the substances being used to get into that state of mind. The line is incredibly direct. 5 Phillies, 4 picky, we're high. This lyric gives us a very specific chemical cocktail to analyze. So we're officially moving our analysis from the club to the pharmacy. So let's break this down real quick. Phillie is slang for a blunt, so that means cannabis, which has the active ingredient THC. Picky is slang for Percocet, and that contains oxycodone, a very powerful opioid that acts as a central nervous system depressant. From a purely pharmacological point of view, this is a really risky combination. When you mix a depressant like an opioid with cannabis, you can dangerously amplify the sedative effects. The song's super casual mention of this reflects how normalized this kind of recreational use has become, but it also completely glosses over the very serious public health crisis around addiction and opioid overdoses. So after digging through all of this, the economics, the culture, the physics, the chemistry, what are we left with? Well, this song matters because it's so much more than just music. It's a cultural time capsule. The core argument here is that this song isn't just about a night out. It's a field guide to our times. It's a commentary on how we use money to signal our value. It's a reflection of our impossible, tech-driven beauty standards, and it's a story about the desperate search for a real, unfiltered connection in a world full of noise and distractions. In the end, it just holds up a mirror to our society. And that really just leaves us with one final thought. If a single party song from today can contain this much complexity, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What will the anthems of tomorrow reveal about us? What stories are they going to tell?